Hi, it's Mike from the Throttlestop. What a treat do we have up for us today. Our new friend, Derek Drinkwater, showed up with this. Derek, can you tell me a little bit about this?
This is a replica of one that was first went to America in 1950 by Cunningham, the originals at the Revs Museum. We first saw it 2016, where we built the other one, because there was a pair that went in 1950 to Le Mans. It was the first American attempt at Le Mans, basically. So it's quite wild.
And so you said Cunningham?
Cunningham, Bridge Cunningham, took two Cadillacs, one sedan and one rebodied. So underneath there is a sedan. So a 1950.
A 1950 Cadillac.
Short wheelbase.
Short wheelbase.
So we raced the original in 2016. Not the original, sorry. I wish. That would be hell. That would be great, wouldn't it? So
yeah.
we replicated the first one, raced that in 2016, and then I had this in my mind, and Pat said, no, we shouldn't build it. Then she found a donor car, and then we built it. We built it in 2018. We spent 5 months building it, which they did originally. So
so it's almost the time frame was about the same.
It was the journey. It was the journey, not just to race at Le Mans, but the journey. So 5 months, and then we raced on the 6th month. And last year we did the 100th anniversary of Le Mans, which was quite wild. So we
I
did
can only imagine how amazing that would have been.
That was quite. And then we went from there. We had the idea of going to Daytona. Our race car club was taking a number of cars to Daytona.
And now, hang on one second. Now, where's home for you?
Home's in the UK.
Home's in the United Kingdom.
United Kingdom.
Just a little bit of a drive for you to get to Daytona.
Yep. And it's a tad, but with the club said they were racing at Daytona. And then we messaged Daytona and we said, would you accept? Because all the other cars are 1965. So Daytona, they didn't do 50s cars. And they said they would love to have us there. So we bought it over from Fort Lauderdale. We then drove it from Fort Lauderdale to the Cadillac dealership, and then 5 car shows, and then raced it at Daytona. And that was just wild on that bank. I mean, I can see why they call it the big house. That was just, and I actually was dared once to go right up there, but it's a long way. It's a long way. So we raced at Daytona, and that was just fabulous. Then we went back home, and then we had the idea of, well, it was in America. The originals never raced in America. So every time we race at a track, it's a first, because the originals raced at Le Mans in 1950 once. So us bringing it over here, the American public can see technically their own car actually do races, which are firsts for the original us. So after racing Daytona, we were at home and we said, do you know what, we need to drive this across America. And then we're like, do we get someone with a support car, or how would you do it? So then we had the idea of buying a little teardrop, which is our...
And again, the teardrop, and again, we're going to talk about the teardrop in a second, but so you're telling me once the boat dropped off the car in Fort Lauderdale, you then drove it to Daytona, and then you said, you know what, let's drive all across
America. But we did that while we were at home.
In a topless vehicle.
No wipers, no heater.
1950 chassis.
Brake, no, it's all drum brakes, 3 on the tree. There is nothing new about this car.
See, this is, I'm going to shake your hand now, because that is really an adventure. It really, you can't drive in a rainstorm. You can't drive, although you may have got stuck in the rain, I suppose, a time or two.
But it's all street legal. It's all street legal. So we had this idea, but the trouble is we didn't have a tow bar. So then at home, I came up with this idea, making a tow bar from photographs of the original car. So we had photographs of the original, so we've got it right because it fits, and that means we match the original car. So we made the tow bar, we put it in a suitcase, we got some airbags just to stiffen up the back end from an F-150. So they all came in a suitcase, which we then fitted to the car, and we started off and we drove from Daytona. We did some Route 66. We then went to the Grand Canyon, which is every race car's got to see the Grand Canyon.
Oh yeah,
That was quite
absolutely,
wild.
yeah.
And then we stopped at the Lone Star Roundup, and the ham gave us a prize for the car, which was like, that was just, wow.
Wow,
the ham,
absolutely.
Then we drove from Lone Star Roundup to Bakersfield, and then we stopped. We asked National Street Rod Association if we could bring our car, because it's in between. It's a race car, it's a hot rod, it's a plane, it's a boat.
It's all those things and more. It's
so
amazing.
We weren't sure whether they'd allow us in, but they actually
they
said to us, we'd love you to come in. The journey with the story, the race car, the history. So we got there, and then we got another prize for the longest distance someone travelled.
Oh, yeah.
So that was just wild. So we're on a putt hunt at this stage.
Yeah.
And then we ended up going to Laguna Seca, which is our destiny.
Oh, yeah.
And then we got to race, the famous corkscrew.
Oh, yeah.
That was just... my friend gave us a little bit about the corkscrew, and that people give you a race talk, going to this bend and going to that bend.
Oh, sure, right, yeah, make sure...
This car doesn't do any of that, because it's 3 on the tree. So you don't break in third, second, and then off you go again. But the one bit
you're probably in second quite a bit of,
quite
throughout
quite a lot, yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But one of the bits, he said, when you go to this corkscrew, and everyone's saying it, look for the second oak tree. So we did the practice, we came in, and Pat said, what was it like, And I said, it's just wild, absolutely wild. I said, but some damn person had trimmed the tree, because I couldn't see it, because we sit so low and it's so far, and you're up at that distance, so I had to find a whole different way of getting in there. But it was wild.
Wow.
So then we went home, someone stored the car, and then we had the other idea, because the idea was to actually do Monterey. That was our first goal. But Monterey, because it's a replica, they said, we don't take replicas, so,
right,
which is okay, we understand.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So then we had the other idea of driving from Laguna, because there's a couple that we met that marshal and do all the,
this is at Laguna Seca.
At Laguna Seca, they do marshalling and pre-track before we get on the track.
Oh, sure.
And we said, what's your favourite track? And they said, Road America.
Which is right here.
Just here.
Yes.
And I'd heard about it, I've read about it, but not ever imagined about it.
Okay.
So we decided we'd go from Laguna to Road America, and then once we leave here, we then go up around the lake.
Yeah,
it's big.
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
big.
yeah. All the Great Lakes are pretty big. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then we're going to end up at Watkins Glen.
Oh yeah.
But with Road America, we turned up 2 days early, and we were parked up outside, and the next thing we have a phone call saying, what are you doing out there? Come in. So they took us on board straight away, and everyone's treated us like royalty. I mean, they have spoiled us wicked.
Well, the Wisconsin person is a good person at heart. Most Americans are as well.
Yep.
But you have such a unique journey, adventure, story.
Yeah.
Of course, everybody's going to be really open to help you and do it. And so now you're here, and you're going to be here for how much longer?
We're here until tomorrow.
Okay.
Because you guys are believing having a breakfast, a coffee meeting or something.
Yeah, we're having a Cars and Coffee tomorrow. Yes.
So, that'd be great if you would like us to hang around. That'd be fantastic.
We would love to have you hang around. Yes. And I think everybody that will show up will gravitate instantly to your car. And
it's like a magnet.
It is.
Yeah.
It absolutely is.
Yeah.
The other thing that's a little bit of a magnet for me is now you and your wife make this journey. It's not hotel to hotel to hotel.
No, sir.
So you spend a little time in this.
Yeah, our luxury accommodation.
Okay. So you just bought one of these here.
Yep. We bought one from Florida. And we had an extra frame sat on the front because we got spare tyres.
Okay.
For racing,
right.
as you do. We had a little problem at Laguna where we lost third gear, but a friend of ours actually jumped up from Naples and he said, I've got a gearbox, I've got a transmission, should I say. Get that right?
Yeah.
He gave it to us.
See,
I mean,
that's-
people have just been second to none. So, where Rub the Right Way is, in there we have a transmission, and also we had a little wine on the differential, so we have a spare diff, a drivetrain.
Wow.
So lucky enough, the trailer's 8 foot long, and I'm only 5'8", and Pat's a little bit shorter.
Yeah.
So she gets the suitcase one side, I get the transmission the other side. In the back, we've got a little cooker, so we can do coffee in the mornings and a little bit of breakfast.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And it's home from home. Yeah, we've had one day where it's been a bit hot, but otherwise it's okay. But we're on a budget. We're budget racers. So driving across America, every penny we save goes on the car for fuel, for tyres, for maintenance. And it's a journey the pair have taken us on, and meeting. We stop at a gas station and people come up and there's a queue and you have to build in talk time, because they just want to know about the car and our journey. And at one point we were on the freeway and we put stickers on, follow us, and then we put one on the trailer. And the truck drivers are going past and there's a queue of people actually wanting to film, and I'm thinking, there's going to be a traffic jam. Oh no, there is a traffic jam, because they're all hanging back filming, and then one after the other, and they're very good, they're very controlled and safe, but it is really wild.
That, I mean, again, it's an attention magnet. And they don't even know the story until they hear the story. We're trying to help communicate the story actually with this video with you. And honestly, Derek, the whole vehicle is amazing. Your story is above and beyond amazing. The fact that you're able to talk your wife into doing this with you is...
She is actually worse than me. She's the one. When we broke the engine...
You have a good wife, because my wife, not so much.
Someone wanted
she
a
went through that
cloner.
adventure
Someone
with me.
wanted a cloner.
Yeah.
Because he said, how did you convince her to do this? I said, it wasn't me that came up with the idea. It was her.
Well,
so
you are
I'm blessed.
A blessed man with a awesome woman, and what a cool car you have, a great story. And for those that want to see more of your story and more about you, where's a good place to find you?
You can follow us on Facebook or Instagram, and it's Derek Drinkwater 48 or Derek Drinker on Facebook, or even if you Google Derek Drinkwater or Cadillac or the Revs Institution, if you Google Revs Cadillac, that all comes up, because we send all the information that we do back to them.
Perfect. So that was Derek Drinkwater.
48.
And we'll find you.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Thanks you.
Thanks so much for stopping by.
Thank you.
And we're going to see you tomorrow at Cars and Coffee.
Definitely. Yeah,
all right.
Thank you.
Well, thank you guys.